say I feel sorry for him. He made his choices and now he's left to deal with the fallout. From what I hear, he's barely managing, but it's his own fault and I am not about to lose sleep over it. What frustrates me even more is that even now I still receive messages from him, messages where he expresses this desperate hope that we can get back together. It's almost like he hasn't fully processed what happened between us, as if he's still clinging to this unrealistic belief that somehow everything could be fixed if he only tried a little harder. He sends these texts, probably hoping that maybe this time I'll have a change of heart, but I've completely ignored him. I haven't even bothered to read them. I don't need to. There's nothing for me to say. There's nothing that could be said to fix anything. What's the point? He doesn't deserve my time or attention anymore. He doesn't understand that I've moved on and that it's over. I've done all the processing I need to, and now there's no turning back. It's not even about holding a grudge. It's simply about realizing that I deserve so much more than what he could ever give me. I'm not going to let his emotional manipulation affect me anymore. He had his chances and he blew them all. Every time he reaches out, it's just a reminder of the years I wasted on him, the years he took for granted. He never truly appreciated me, and I am done trying to make him see things from my perspective. That's the part that gets me the most. He never took responsibility for his actions. It's all about him, and now he's trying to make it seem like we can go back to what we had. But it's too late. It's been too late for a long time. There's nothing left for him here. There's nothing left for me to give. The funny thing is, it's not just me he's been trying to reach out to. I heard from Sarah that he's been messaging her as well. Apparently he's been sending messages, almost as if things could go back to how they were, as if there was no such thing as betrayal or hurt. He seems to be holding on to this belief that if he just reaches out enough, if he just keeps trying, then maybe everything will fall back into place. But Sarah's done with him too. She hasn't responded to him, and she doesn't plan to. She told me that she feels bad for him sometimes, especially when she sees how he's struggling. But she also knows that reaching out to him again would only drag her back into this mess. She can't afford to get emotionally tied up in that again. It's a strange thing seeing someone you once cared about, someone you thought would be a permanent part of your life, trying to hold on to something that's already been lost. It's almost like watching a person desperately flail about in the water, trying to grasp at anything to keep them from sinking. But I've told Sarah the same thing that I've been telling myself. He is not our responsibility anymore. He made his choices, and now he has to deal with the consequences. We've both moved on, and we can't let him drag us back into his emotional turmoil. He's already done enough damage. But I can't help but wonder if he really understands what he's done. Does he truly know the weight of his actions? Has he realized how much pain he's caused, how much he destroyed by making all those selfish decisions? I think it's possible he doesn't. If he really understood the full extent of what he's done, he wouldn't be reaching out like this. He'd understand that the door is closed. He'd realize that no amount of pleading or apologizing is going to change what's already been broken. But maybe he's too wrapped up in his own self-pity to see that. Maybe he's still trying to justify everything in his mind, still looking for ways to make himself feel better, to convince himself that he wasn't entirely in the wrong. Either way, I've made my peace with it. I've spent too many years dealing with his mistakes, with his lies and broken promises, and I'm done with it. I'm not about to go back into that cycle. I've worked hard to move forward, to build a life for myself that's separate from him and his drama. I can't let him undo all the progress I've made just because he's having a hard time facing reality. If he wants to fix his life, he's going to have to do it on his own. I'm not here to rescue him. I'm not here to comfort him. It's not my problem anymore. As for Sarah, I know she's struggling with it too. I can see the conflict in her eyes when she talks about him. Part of her still wants to be the person who helps, who comforts, but she also learned that it's not her job to fix him. She can't afford to get dragged back into his world of chaos and guilt. He's toxic for both of us. And while it's sad that he's in this situation, it's not our responsibility to save him from it. I think part of her still feels sorry for him, but I've reminded her that she can't let that pity turn into something more. He is not the man he used to be, and he doesn't deserve her time or energy. He's shown us who he really is, and it's not someone that we can trust, not someone we can depend on. When I think about him now, I can't help but wonder how he's managing. Is he still juggling alimony payments to both me and the other woman? Or has he found a way out of that financial mess? I imagine it's a constant struggle for him, but at the same time, I don't feel bad for him. He's made his bed and now he has to lie in it. I wonder if he even realizes how his decisions led him to this point. Well, probably not. He's probably still too caught up in blaming everyone else for his problems, unable to see that the root cause of all his troubles is the person he sees in the mirror. I hope for his sake that one day he comes to terms with it, but it's not something I'm going to lose sleep over. At the end of the day, I am done. I've moved on and I am not looking back. I've got my own life to live, my own future to plan for, and I am not going to let him hold me back. I don't owe him anything. I don't owe him my forgiveness, my attention, or my emotional energy. He had all of that and more, and he squandered it. So now I'm focusing on myself. I'm focusing on building a life that's healthy, that's free of the toxic drama he brought into our lives, and if he ever realizes the truth, that's on him. I've done everything I can, and now it's time to live my life without him. Sarah is living a happy and peaceful life with her kind, family-oriented husband. They seem to be a perfect match, and their life together reflects the warmth and stability that so many people hope for. From what I can gather, Sarah truly enjoys her everyday routine, where she gets to balance work and household chores in a way that brings her satisfaction and contentment. Her life is settled into a comfortable rhythm, where the simple pleasures of caring for her home, spending time with her husband, and fulfilling her work commitments bring her joy. Each day feels like a small victory in a much larger picture of happiness. As for me, I can't help but sometimes reflect on how my life has turned out. I'll admit I look at Sarah and feel a sense of envy, but not in a way that resents her good fortune. I think more than anything, I wish for the same sense of peace and happiness that she's found. When I think about everything that happened between us, about my marriage and what led to my decision to divorce, I feel a strange mix of relief and gratitude. Despite the pain and the struggles, there's a certain freedom in knowing I made the right decision for myself. I often find myself thinking that maybe, just maybe, I was the one who was really holding on for too long. For so many years, I kept thinking that things would improve, that if I just tried harder, everything would work itself out. I think I convinced myself that I was the one who needed to keep pushing forward, that somehow I was the one who had to make it all work. But looking back now, it's clear to me that I had been enduring far too much for far too long. I had been the one making all the sacrifices, swallowing my own discomfort, trying to make things better when there was no real reason to believe they would be. It's easy to tell myself that I had to be the one to hold things together because it felt like it was my responsibility. But in reality, I was just wearing myself thin, and that, I think, is what made it so hard for me to walk away in the first place. It wasn't that I hadn't tried fixing things. I did. For years I tried. I tried to communicate, to make compromises, to do whatever I thought was needed to make the relationship work. But over time, I realized that no matter how hard I tried, nothing really changed. And so eventually, I had to come to terms with the fact that staying in that situation wasn't doing anyone any good, least of all me. When I finally made the decision to divorce, it felt like the weight of the world had been lifted from my shoulders. I could breathe again. It wasn't easy, of course, but I knew it was the right choice. I had spent so many years trying to hold everything together, trying to be the one who made it work, that when I finally did let go, it was like stepping into a whole new world. I'm not saying that the decision was without its difficulties. It wasn't easy at all. But I came to understand that the longer I stayed in that unhappy situation, the more I was stifling my own happiness, my own growth. The thing is, I was exhausted from carrying the weight of a relationship that wasn't giving me anything in return. And once I let go, I was finally able to focus on myself for a change. I had been so caught up in trying to make it work for someone else that I had neglected my own needs and desires. Once I realized that, it felt like I had opened a door to a whole new chapter of my life. A chapter where I could finally be myself. Now that some time has passed, I find myself appreciating the little things more. I've learned to find joy in the simple moments, like the satisfaction of keeping my home in order, the joy of being able to focus on my work without distractions, and the quiet comfort of knowing I don't have to live with constant tension anymore. I've also learned to surround myself with people who uplift me, people who genuinely care about my well-being. I didn't always have that before, but now it's one of the most important things in my life. I realize now that being surrounded by positivity is essential for my happiness, and it's something I truly value. As for Patrick, I have no ill will towards him, and I do hope that he finds the happiness he's looking for. It's strange, isn't it? After everything that happened between us, after all the hurt and the struggles, I still wish him well. It's a bittersweet feeling, really. I don't want to sound naive or overly sentimental, but there's a part of me that hopes he's found peace too. I know that I had my own role in how things turned out, but I also know that we both had to make our own choices. And sometimes those choices lead us to different paths. I don't think it's so much about forgiveness as it is about understanding that life moves on, and we all need to move with it. If Patrick has found someone who makes him happy, then I'm glad for him. After everything, I can't help but wish him the best. I've learned that harboring anger and resentment only holds me back. It's easy to look back and think about all the things I would have done differently, but in the end, I realize that what's most important is what's happening now. I've moved on, and I hope he has too. Life has a way of pushing us forward, whether we're ready for it or not, and I've learned to accept that, to embrace the future and whatever it holds. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.